So a lot of people have been asking me how I got 19 concussions. So I thought I would try and, in a 10-minute video, talk about the ones that I can remember. And this is a trigger warning for people that have been through domestic violence situations, um, or younger people that shouldn't even be on this app that are watching. Um, So the first one that I remember, I was 10 and I fell down the basement stairs, which were like, they weren't carpeted, they were, um, it was even harder than concrete. So anyway, I fell face first down those stairs. Um, and then when I was 12, um, I had a friend that uh, wanted to get me intoxicated for the first time. And so, in order to do that, she made a deal with her um, siblings' friends and traded me for alcohol. And I didn't know it. I didn't know any part of that. And so, during that, um, we went with two older guys, and she took off with one of them and left me with the other. And he tried to, kiss me or whatever, and I resisted. And then he proceeded to hit my head into the window of the car and knocked me unconscious. And then I woke up in a park by myself. And anyway, so that's one of them. And then as I got older, I got into more other relationships that were abusive. And this is harder to talk about than I thought. A couple of those ended in more concussions. And then I got into a car accident when I was 18, and I rear-ended somebody. And I wasn't hospitalized or anything, but I hit the window or the windshield or whatever, and caused a concussion. And then I was held hostage for 4.5 months at when I was like 18 or 19, I can't remember. And I can go into detail about that at a different time. But I got about 5 concussions from that person. And then some were just pure accidents, like I was chasing after one of my children, and I went underneath like one of those big pipes that is on a playground, and because of my spatial awareness problems, I didn't gauge the distance, and so I smacked straight into a steel pipe and about knocked myself unconscious, but saw stars for sure. And then I was working at a restaurant, and I was taking dishes back, and there was a greasy floor, and they had pulled the mats up too early. And so I tried to walk carefully, and before I knew it, my feet were out from underneath me, and I slammed my head into a brick wall. Like, all the force of my fall was on my head into a brick wall. And then a few years ago, I was like the last time I took my dog for a walk around the river where we live, and I used to really like to do that. And there was a dog that came up to us, and everything seemed fine, but all of a sudden their dog attacked my dog, and their dog it was a large dog, like not as quite as large as a Great Dane, but almost like a little bit taller than a golden doodle. And it attacked Emma, and she proceeded to, they were both on leashes, and they let go of their leash, and it ripped the leash from my hand, and so she went running around my legs to try and escape this dog. So the leash, both leashes, like wrapped around my ankles like super fast, and like clotheslined me and just like threw me to the ground, and I landed on my head, on the right side of my head, and got a concussion from that. And one time I was putting on my shoes, and I stood up, and I have a video about this one where I demonstrated standing up and hitting the back of my head on the doorknob really hard, and that caused me to lose the ability to like walk and talk, along with the one where I hit the brick wall. I couldn't walk or talk for it was a couple of weeks for the brick wall, and then I think it was a month with in the back of my head that it took me to recover. And I think I needed in-home care for that one, because I was older and my brain's not as resilient as it once was. And then another time, I was getting up and doing something, and there was a little small footstool in the way, and I tripped over that, and it like flung me backwards, and I hit back of my head on the dresser, and had to go to the hospital for that, and that took another like 4 weeks to recover, again because I was older. And then I think the last one that occurred, we went to an amusement park, and I chose this ride, which it was that tilt-a-whirl, and I haven't been on rides, and so I probably shouldn't have been the one to choose, because everybody else was like, no, I don't think so, but I insisted. And the force of the turn made my head like go back so fast, and it like caused a whiplash concussion, because it whipped my head was like all the way back, and I couldn't bring my head up against the force of it, and my daughter had to help me lift my head back up and like hold onto my head, so it wouldn't move anymore for the remainder of the ride. So that was that one. And I've had a total of, I think, 3 car wrecks in the past that I got into that caused whiplash, concussion, or hitting my head on the window. So another one, I was at work when I managed the women's retail store, and I moved a ladder, and there was like metal bars on top of the ladder that I didn't know were there, and they fell right on my head, and I got a concussion from that. So just a bunch of just freak accidents and abusive men. So I can go into detail of different stories if you want, but that's all I can think of right now.